tough conversation.
Tough conversation.
Tough conversation.
Tough conversation.
You were so tough.
You know what? Managing a tough conversation is really challenging from the manager perspective. What I try to do with my team is that whenever we have the critical business issues, we sit down together, lay out the problems, and then we discuss about the root cause of the problem so that we can go and tackle the problems correctly.
Not long after I came back from Manager Plus, I had to deliver a message to my team, so I didn't just speak to one person. I spoke to my entire team. I had to deliver them a message that could seemingly be negative.
When it finally did, it was not easy for me to bring up the topic to her. I eventually did bring the message across, and because it happened in the right setting, I believe it helped her look at things from a different lens and better receive that message so that it's not perceived as otherwise.
She's a good worker, but has certain personality weaknesses. Before approaching her, I went through achievement and contribution on FY13. I brought up the feedback I have received from other co-workers and highlighted the flaws to her. I stressed that she needs to take this in a positive manner and that I'm here to help her.
Especially with someone who is very sensitive and emotional. After the Manager Plus training, I learned important skills to create an effective conversation.
She used to know. She didn't have to cut me off. Because I could never happen.
As a multiplier, I try to have the person work on their own solution and plan for themselves not to repeat that mistake again. And they get that commitment by themselves.
But then taking my learnings, observing the needs of my team, I took that learning, I watched their faces as they changed as I delivered the message, and I presented to them. I then understood that I needed to talk to some of the individuals and understand their needs and understand what they had to go through.
Be it a casual talk or a formal conversation, I tell myself I need to set the right approach, avoid being judgmental, focus on the facts and future goals. I reminded myself I need to be more aware of my own body language, facial expression, tone, and voice. I created bridging faces before start a tough topic.
I apply what I've learned from Manager Plus by giving her space and acknowledging her explanation. I reason with her and make her understand why such comments were made. Eventually, she realized her mistake and agreed to move to work on them.
I believe this tough conversation doesn't just stop here. It's only happened the first time, and I believe there are more challenges to come.
And now, on a daily basis, I am adopting small little actions in interacting with my teammate by being more open.
We came up with an action plan together, which we'll review on an ongoing project.
I used to know.
I think at the end of the day, the Manager Plus workshop helped me a lot in asking the right question and be a very good listener.
And I think that we now have a better collaborating relationship, which I think is major.
I'm glad that my tough conversation turned out to be a good conversation.
I'm now more open and more willing to accept tough conversations with my team, and as I keep practicing on, I believe it'll be much easier.
The conversation is not about the relationship. The conversation itself is the relationship.
I used to